Well, I've got another sneak preview, spoiler, whatever you want to call it, for the IBM Portable PC. By this point, there almost ain't no point making a main video of this thing. But I got another package in the mail. Uh, this is another card for this computer, another expansion card. Not a repair this time, but an upgrade. Let me open this package up and show you what's inside. There it is. This is a device which is an extremely popular upgrade for the IBM PC and early IBM PC compatibles. It's a card made by AST called the Sixpack Plus. This is a multifunction card. Its primary function is memory expansion. This is a RAM expansion card. So this adds more RAM to your computer. This card has the capability of holding up to 384 kilobytes of RAM. I bought this card for $40, which is an extremely good price for one of these. They go for way more usually. From someone on the vintage computer forums. And it's just, I really appreciate it. This is going to be a wonderful upgrade for the IBM Portable PC, because this thing only has 256 kilobytes of RAM, and that's very limiting. There's a lot of software that this computer could run but can't because it doesn't have enough RAM. This card will solve that problem. You can upgrade the Sixpack Plus to hold up to 384 kilobytes of RAM. This one's been populated with 256 kilobytes. And then the last 128K is unpopulated. I can add RAM to this later if I want. So this has 256K of RAM, so it'll upgrade this thing to 512 kilobytes of RAM, which should be enough to run almost any real mode software that I'd want to run on a computer like this. So that's wonderful. This card has other functions though. First of all, if you look right here, it does have a 25-pin serial port. That's very nice. I already have a serial port on this thing. Oh, I've got two serial ports. Wow. Because this already has a multifunction card in it that doesn't add RAM. So I might just yank that out. But yeah, it's got a serial port on it, and then it's got a header right here for, or one of these headers, I forget which one. That's for a parallel port. And then that's not all. See this right here? That's a watch battery socket for a CR2032 battery. This thing also serves as a real-time clock calendar, which IBM's early PCs did not have. They had no provisions of keeping the time and date. You had to set it every time you booted up. This thing adds a battery-backed real-time clock calendar, so it'll function like a newer computer where you boot up and it automatically remembers the date and time. So that's wonderful. So you get memory expansion, which is the main reason I wanted this, a serial port, a parallel port, and a real-time clock calendar. Oh, this should be wonderful. This was tested by the seller to work. I hope it survived the trip here. This came from the United States. It got here in about 2 weeks, which is about par for the course. And I'm just super excited. So documentation for this card is available online, which is good because you do have to set this up so it works correctly. You can see we have some dip switches there. This sets various things. You need to tell the card how much RAM's already in the computer. So there's dip switches for that. You need to set the dip switches so that the card knows how much RAM is installed on it. And then there are other dip switches regarding settings for the serial and parallel ports. So I got to bring up the documentation and make sure the switches are all set for this thing. I forget whether or not I have to set any of the dip switches that are on the motherboard of the computer. But I'll read through that. And I have a coin battery I'll stick in there to start the clock running. And then we'll be ready to install this thing. So yeah, it's got 128K here, 128K here, and that'll give me 512K total. If I ever want, I can populate this 128K bank. It just takes standard 4264 dynamic RAM chips. So if I ever populate this last 128K, that'll bring me up to the full 640K of RAM. But I think even 512 is enough to run just about any 8088 compatible software. I think even Windows and stuff will work with 512K. But anyway, I'll do some reading, make sure all those switches are set right, and then we'll stick in the card and see if it works. I'm super excited. Okay, first, 6pack plus starting memory address. So basically this lets the card know how much RAM's already on the motherboard. I have 256K. So I need S1 off and S2 and S3 on. So that is already set. Okay, good enough. What's next? PCXT, that's what I have. When installing the 6pack Plus and a PCXT, configure the starting address, which corresponds to the amount of memory installed on the PCXT system board. Good. Automatically begins. Yep, that's fine. Amount of memory installed on the 6pack Plus. The seller probably already set that, but I'll check anyway. So we have banks 1 to 4 filled, 256K, so 4, 5, and 6 are on, off, off. 4, 5, 6, on, off, off. Okay, yes, that is correct. Oh, I might not have to flip a single switch in this card. Parity check. Position 8 of switch 1 on your 6pack Plus may be set to enable full parity error checking. It is recommended that the parity check function of the board always be enabled by leaving this switch on. Sure, I will have it on then. It's already on. Good. Alright, now the motherboard switch configuration. PCXT. The PCXT differs from the PC1, which was the original Revision A IBM PC, and the PC2, which was the Revision B IBM PC, in how a system board switches are configured. In the PCXT, the system board tells the computer only the amount of memory installed on the system board and does not include any memory which may be installed on the expansion board. The PCXT will automatically recognize the expansion board memory and will include this memory in the total system memory up to a maximum of 640K. It is not required that you fully populate the PCXT system board before you can use the memory on the expansion board. Configure the system board for the amount of memory on the XT system board. So I don't need to do anything because that's obviously already set. We might be ready to install this thing without me having to flip a single switch. Serial port. Yeah, I think I'll remove that serial card I got there, because when you have multiple serial ports, then you have to configure this card so that it doesn't conflict with the other serial ports. I don't have use for more than one serial port, so I might just pull that one out. If that's COM 1, then I need to configure the serial port on that card for COM 2. See, the problem is, I don't know how the two serial ports already in this thing are configured. I have no idea. So I may just say, screw it, it ain't going to hurt anything if the serial port on that card is not configured correctly. It just won't work if it's not. So I think I'll pull that multifunction card. We'll stick this card in. I'll stick a clock battery in it first, and then we'll stick it in. And we'll just see if it works. If it counts up all the memory up to 512K, then I will be happy. Alright, card is in. It's installed in the only free full-length slot that this computer has, right beside the video card. Something I've just discovered to be wary of is, there's the video connector for the internal display, and as you can see, there is practically no clearance between it and this slot, so just something to be wary of there. So, I'm going to remove this card. This is an AST multifunction card, serial and parallel, and it's also got a real-time clock, but I've never used it because with this card, as well as this card, you need software that AST provided to make use of the real-time clock. MS-DOS can't access it on its own, but that software is available online. I just never bothered to get a hold of it and try it with this card, but I'm going to take this card out because certainly the real-time clocks are going to conflict with the one on the new card. So I'll do that, and I'll just leave this unconnected. This goes to the parallel port. So I think this connector will probably fit on this card as well. depending on if I got the clearance to plug it in there. But for now, I'll just leave it unconnected. So I'll remove this card, and then we'll plug this computer in and cross our fingers and hope that it works. Alright, we're plugged in, ready to turn on. I put the metal shroud on to contain any inadvertent capacitor explosions. Let's hope this works. We should hopefully see the post count, the memory count in the upper left corner go all the way to 512, and I have my MS-DOS 5 boot disk installed. So let's see. Okay, we're counting the memory. Let's hope it doesn't stop at 256. I gotta turn my exposure down. Uh-oh. That's not good. 40,000 FF201 error. Okay, clearly something's wrong, so let me do some checking and see if I can find anything. Haha, ha, alright, sweet. I just had to reseat the card. That's all I did, I just reseated the card. Alright, great. That's good, because I looked at the troubleshooting portion of the manual, and it didn't list that type of error. Oh, look at that. 512 kilobytes. Oh, sweet. That is awesome. I hope my boot disk is good. Oh, there it goes. Ah, alright. Do we have a mem command? MEM? No, we don't. I forget. Maybe that's on another disk. I'm going to run the MS-DOS shell. That's a program which needs more than 256K of RAM to run, so I've never been able to run it on this computer. I'm really interested to see how it works. Unfortunately, my B drive, I think my B drive in this computer is destroyed. When I had put in that disk that Murray sent me, and it made that weird grinding noise, I think something happened to the head there. I've tried cleaning it several times. I've never been able to get that drive to work again. And when I looked inside the drive, I found that the head does not sit correctly on the disk anymore. It's kind of crooked a bit. I originally found that if I kind of lightly pushed down on the head assembly, it would work. It would read a disk. But as soon as I let go, it only reads side 0 of the disk. And I've asked people, and I've tried a bunch of different stuff, and I have not been able to get this drive to work, so I have a bad feeling this drive may be destroyed. It is not working anymore, which is too bad. And I had that happen to another 5¼ inch drive. So I'm limited to the A drive now, which sucks. That's another huge limiting thing on a computer like this. So I'll run, turn my light off here. I'll run shell shell. Or no, that's not the command, it's DOS shell. Okay. Oh, look at that. It, holy shoot. What the heck? Wow, my display is really warped looking. Oh, that's strange. I hope my Why does that look so weird? I've never seen that before. I've run graphical programs on this computer before, and it doesn't cause video output like that. Is there something wrong with that video card, that new video card? The display is very, very warped. That's strange, but it is working. This is the first time the DOS shell has run on this computer. Let me go, and it's running in the graphical mode, I think, not the, or no, it is running in the text mode, I think. Let's go to options. Oh, that is not good. Oh, it's getting worse, I think. Oh no, it depends on what's showing up on the display. Oh, that's strange. That's not cool. What the heck? I've never... Man, what is going on with this computer all of a sudden? Display. So let's see if I can go in graphics mode. Holy shoot, that is strange. Oh, that's not good. Wow. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, what? Now it looks perfect. What the heck? What? Oh, does it depend on the resolution? Okay. This thing doesn't like really high resolution stuff. I wonder if that's something... That doesn't seem right. Because I once ran a graphical shell on this computer. And I didn't, you know, it ran at like the full CGA, high resolution CGA graphics mode. And I didn't get any of this crap. What the heck? You should see, hold on. You gotta see this. Let me go back into the text mode. And now you'll see when I switch to the graphics mode, watch how it deforms as it draws the graphics going downward. That is strange. What the heck? I've never seen that. Oh, that's... Is that normal? That's very strange. I almost want to put my old video card back in and see if it does this. You know, I think I just might. Let me get out of the shell. Exit. Wow. Yet in text mode it's perfectly fine. That's interesting. My God, there's something every time. There's something every time when I work on a computer. Yeah, I'm interested enough. I'm going to stick my old video card back in and see if it... I think it should still boot. The text will be all messed up, but it should still boot. And I'll see if it does that weird warping in the graphics mode. Okay, my old video card's in. Let's see how that works. We'll get a beep code probably, because the computer knows that the card is sick. Fails the memory test. Yeah, and we do have the corrupt text. But the computer should hopefully still boot. I wonder how graphics mode will react to that bad video RAM. Hopefully it don't crash the computer. I want to see how this, I want to see what's going on with that warped display. This might prompt me to just go ahead and replace the bad chip on... Oh, wow. It's saying no system disk or disk error. Oh, I've got the wrong disk in. I've got the shell disk in. Hopefully it'll boot. Wow, that gets worse and worse every time I boot it up. Press Any came out well though. This may prompt me to just replace the bad chip on my card with one of the chips on Murray's card. If Murray's card can't handle high resolution video modes for some reason. Okay, DOSSHELL. Hopefully it'll start up. Migvosoft. 1995. Nope, that should say 1991. It looks, I mean, it's messed up, but it looks perfect. Let me go into the video mode. I think it's in text mode. So if I go display... Oh, it is in the graphics mode. Well, guess what, Murray? Your card can't handle high-resolution video modes. That's very interesting. I wonder what's wrong with that card. Well, no matter anyhow, I think I'm just going to rip one of the memory chips out of his card and stick it in mine. Screw that. Wow, that's interesting. Wow. Something every time. Let me go ahead and go into the high-resolution text mode. The DOS shell makes a good video card test because it gives you all sorts of options, or there's only 3 in the case of this computer, but different text modes and different graphics modes. So let me go into the high-resolution text mode. And that also looks fine, no warping. And notice how now we get corrupt text, whereas in the graphics mode, all the text is good, but we have graphics glitches. And if I go into the low resolution text mode, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what's wrong with that new card. That can't... Well, I'm glad it's not the CRT. That would be a whole nother can of worms I'd have to try and solve. That's interesting. Wow, yeah, that is absolutely remarkable. Well, I'll do some looking online, and I'll post something in the Vintage Computer forums just to see if anyone's ever seen this before. But my guess is I'm going to go ahead and rip a RAM chip out of Murray's card and stick it in my card and reuse my card. And call it a day, and that should fix my card, and then I won't have this weirdness going on. But that's very strange. I have no idea what it could be. There's no electrolytic capacitors on that card. Just tantalum capacitors, and if it's a failing tantalum capacitor, I would assume that it would have exploded by now. But nope, have no clue. That's really strange. But here's the important thing, the point of this video. That RAM expansion card is working now. I now have 512K of RAM in this computer. And that's going to enable this thing to run so much more software. So when I make the video of this thing on the main channel, I'll be able to demonstrate things like the DOS shell, Windows, some games that need a lot of RAM, Office software like WordPerfect that, you know, newer versions of Microsoft Word and WordPerfect and Excel, they need more than 256K of RAM to run. So this opens a lot of doors for this computer, which is great. The last thing I want to do for this thing is get it a hard drive. I hate floppy disks are fine. 5 1/4 floppies suck because they're all starting to go bad now, and the drives are really unreliable, I've found, and they get dirty really easy. Slightest bit of dirt and and you know, they'd stop working, and I constantly have discs going bad. You know, I've had 3 or 4 5 1/4 inch discs I've had to throw away, so I've only got like 35 of them left. And I do not like dealing with 5 1/4 inch floppies. I want to get this thing a hard drive. And of course that alone is, you know, that requires a bunch of gymnastics to sort out. Because, first of all, MFM hard drives, you know, getting one of those that still is serviceable, that's hard to do. And there's no room in this computer to put a hard card in it like I've got in my Epson Apex Plus. So it would be a good opportunity to replace this B drive with a hard drive. So I'd have to find a hard drive with a bezel on it. And then I think the hard drive controller in the Epson Apex Plus is short enough to fit in one of these remaining slots. So I've already got a controller I could use. But I'm also considering actually getting one of the modern solutions for vintage computers now. One of the ISA to compact flash adapters that lets you use a compact flash card as a hard drive. I can get one of those for $40 or $50. So I think I might do that. I would like to get a true blue MFM hard drive, keep this thing period correct. But, you know, they're dropping like flies. MFM hard drives now, they are failing left and right. The one I have in the Epson Apex Plus has technically already failed. It's failed in such a way that it won't start up when it's cold. You got to turn the computer on, wait 15 minutes, turn it off and back on, and then the hard drive will spin up because it's warm. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I would like to keep this thing period correct and put an MFM hard drive in it, but I don't think it would be a good investment. I would pay about as much for a hard drive, and it would possibly fail who knows when. So I don't think it's a good investment. I think a compact flash adapter is a good investment. So I think that's the route I'll go, probably Christmas. And then once I have that done, then it'll be time to make the main video of this computer. But I guess my next primary concern now that we know this card works, which is awesome, my next concern is the video. You know, what, that glitch in that warped display in the high resolution video modes, that's very strange. That caught me way off guard. So I'll do some reading about that, but I think what might be happening is I unsolder one of the memory chips and replace the bad memory chip on my card and just put my card back into service and call it a day. But I'll see what I can do. But there you go. There's the installation and successful test of an AST 6-pack plus memory expansion board. Very popular. This was one of the first killer upgrades for the IBM PC. This came out in 1983 and they were hugely popular upgrades for IBM PC and PC clones. And even today they're still a very popular upgrade. It's the easiest way to get a computer like this one to have a lot of memory. Unfortunately, the IBM PC XT motherboard, at least the early version of the motherboard that's used in the PC Portable, it can physically accept more RAM chips on the motherboard. It's got the sockets, but the electronic circuitry isn't there to support more than 256K of RAM. You can modify them to do that, but it requires soldering and stuff. So really, the most kosher way to upgrade the RAM in a computer like this is with an expansion card. And you can buy new cards. People have, you know, just like the compact flash adapter, people have made RAM upgrade cards. You know, they're really short and they use some electronic trickery so you can get like as much as a megabyte of RAM in a computer like this. But I think they're quite expensive. I think it's like $70 or $80 to get a hold of one of those cards. So I got this for $40, and it gives me a real-time clock as well, which is another great feature. So yes, overall very happy, very concerned about that video issue, but I have faith that I'll be able to sort it out one way or another. So there's another peek of this computer for now. A successful upgrade, slowly working my way to get this thing fully ready to make the main video of it.